Yo, so according to people who were actually in the room with Floyd Mayweather, something happened recently that nobody saw coming. We're talking sources close to his camp, people who've seen the actual paperwork, the actual messages, stuff that was never supposed to go public. And bro, wait for it. By the end of this video, you're gonna hear what insiders are saying really went down behind closed doors with his money. Because for years, the story was simple. Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather, the guy who literally built his entire career off the idea that he had more cash than anyone could ever spend. And now, people close to him are telling a completely different story. Stay with me, because according to the people closest to him, this is so much worse than the headlines made it sound. Okay, so quick recap for anyone just landing here, because you need this background to understand how big of a deal this actually is. Floyd Mayweather came from absolutely nothing. 7 people living in one bedroom, no water, no heat. He's told that story over and over throughout his career. And honestly, respect. The man clawed his way out of one of the toughest starting points imaginable and turned himself into arguably the best defensive boxer of his generation. Started training at like 5, 6 years old. By the time he was a teenager, he was already winning national titles. Bronze medal at the Olympics in '96. Turned pro right after and started stacking knockouts and titles almost immediately. But the real money, the life-changing, generational money, that came later. De La Hoya fight, 2007. Around $25 million for one night. That was the moment everything changed for him financially. Then Pacquiao in 2015. At the time, the biggest pay-per-view event in boxing history. Hundreds of millions generated from that one fight alone. And then McGregor in 2017. By his own numbers, that fight alone brought in around $275 million. Add it all up, McGregor, Pacquiao, Canelo, and Floyd himself has said those 3 fights brought in $750 million combined. So, when whispers first started going around that Floyd was having money trouble, people laughed it off completely. Like, bro, how does someone who pulled in that kind of money end up in any kind of trouble at all? But according to people who were close to his financial team behind the scenes, here's where it gets crazy. So here's what's reportedly been going on behind the scenes, according to people who worked directly with Floyd. A former associate of his, someone who, according to sources, acted as his investment manager and handled a lot of his real estate and banking relationships, recently got pulled into a massive legal battle. Floyd is suing this guy, alleging he was defrauded out of well over $100 million. On the surface, that paints Floyd as the victim. Some guy took advantage of him, right? But people close to the situation say this associate didn't just sit there and take it. He reportedly pushed back hard, and instead of just denying it, he allegedly handed over a stack of private messages, signed documents, even photos of Floyd signing paperwork in real time. And according to what's in those messages, around last August, Floyd was reportedly sending parts of his jewelry collection, we're talking watches worth millions of dollars each, to get pawned at a shop in Miami. Not sold, pawned. Like, boxed up, driven over, handed across the counter for a cash loan. The same way a regular person might pawn something before payday. People familiar with the deal say the total came out to somewhere around $13 million in loans against that jewelry. And here's the part that's wild, bro. Sources say loans like that can carry fees of up to 3% a month on $13 million. That's allegedly close to $1.5 million just in interest, just to keep that loan afloat. No cap. Just sit with that for a second. A guy whose own camp says he personally brought in $750 million from 3 nights of work, reportedly paying interest rates like he's at a corner pawn shop trying to scrape together rent money.
Floyd Mayweather is broke. So I just saw a YouTube video detailing why he's broke, and here are the 3 reasons in that on why he's broke. The first one is, it is speculated that he spends $500,000 to $1 million a day. Yeah, can you imagine? Just do the math. 30 days in a month, that's $30 million a month times that by 12, I mean, you can do the math. That's 360 million a year. That's absolutely crazy. Number two is, I mean, you can already tell this guy has like 3 exhibition matches or matches that are like lined up for this year alone, right? I think Mike Tyson, Pacquiao, and someone else, or probably some random Japanese fighter in Japan. It's just absolutely crazy. Number 3, a lot of his businesses, he's not even being able to afford to pay his employees, like his gym, or lying about his real estate portfolio. It's just absolutely crazy. I feel like, you know, when you're a person that gets that much money starting at a young age, and then you live that lifestyle for 30 or 40 years, it's really hard to go back, you know, with this $100 or 100 car collection, you know, his watch collection. You know, that money drains fast, and like, it's like Joe Rogan says, it's like on a tap. He's just like spending and spending, and you know, it's finally catching up to him, and let alone like the tax that he has to pay or has been avoiding. So it's crazy. You know, manage your money well, or you'll end up like Floyd Mayweather.
And according to people close to him, this apparently wasn't even a one-time thing either. There are reports that this wasn't the first time pieces from his collection had been used as collateral for cash. It doesn't stop there. Okay, so here's my take on all this. And apparently a lot of people who actually know Floyd personally are saying the exact same thing. If you're in a tight spot, like genuinely struggling for cash, and reports say you've got watches sitting in a safe worth tens of millions of dollars combined, why would you pawn them and pay interest every single month? Why not just sell 1 or 2 outright, clear the debt, and move on? That's the question people close to him are reportedly asking too. Because pawning instead of selling means you're choosing to keep paying fees on money you supposedly don't have, just to hold on to items you're apparently not even using anymore. And here's the thing that really puts it into perspective for me. According to insiders, just running Floyd's team, his people, his overhead, his day-to-day lifestyle, reportedly costs somewhere around $1 million a month. A month, bro. Before jets, before cars, before any of the extra stuff he's known for. So when you hear reports that he needs to come out of retirement for one more big fight, suddenly that makes a whole lot more sense, doesn't it? It's not really about chasing glory at this point, according to people close to the situation. It's reportedly about keeping the lights on. And look, I'm not saying this to dunk on the guy. He came from nothing and built something incredible. But there's a difference between living large and being financially stable. And according to sources close to him, those two things apparently got mixed up somewhere along the way. But here's where it gets crazy, bro. Wait for it. Because this next part is the detail that really changes the whole story. Remember that lawsuit I mentioned earlier? The one where Floyd is suing his old associate for fraud? According to documents tied to that case, back in 2023, Floyd apparently wrote a personal letter to a federal judge, vouching for this same associate's character during that guy's sentencing in a completely separate legal matter. So now, people close to the legal side of this are asking the obvious question. If Floyd is now claiming in his lawsuit that he had no idea about this guy's past or his legal troubles, how do you explain a letter written years earlier with Floyd's own signature on it that clearly shows he knew exactly what was going on with this person? That's the part that sources say just doesn't add up. It's the kind of detail that, if it holds up, completely changes how people read the rest of the lawsuit. And then there's the jet situation. There were reports floating around that Floyd's private jet sold for basically $1, which obviously sounds completely insane on its face. But according to people who actually understand how these private aircraft deals work, that's apparently a pretty normal way private parties keep the real sale price confidential. What documents reportedly do show is that there was still a multi-million-dollar loan sitting on that jet, and when it sold, a big chunk of the proceeds reportedly went straight toward paying that loan off, which, again, lines up with everything else we've talked about in this video. So where does that actually leave us? Is Floyd Mayweather bankrupt in the traditional sense people usually mean when they use that word? Probably not. He's still got assets, still got name value, still got ways to generate income. But according to people who've reportedly been close to his finances, The guy who made more money fighting than almost anyone in boxing history has apparently been pawning his own jewelry, running through roughly $1 million a month just to maintain his lifestyle, and is now reportedly heading back into the ring in his late 40s because, according to sources, he needs the payday. No cap, that's a wild place for someone with a 9-figure career to end up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think Floyd actually saved enough to walk away comfortably? Or do you think the lifestyle finally caught up with him? Drop your take below, and I'll see you in the next one.